Christmas is a time for giving, is a time for letting someone know.
If you grew up in the 1970s, Christmas morning didn't just look magical, it smelled magical. Before scent diffusers and designer candles, the holidays were shaped by real smells: warm kitchens, pine needles, plastic toys, and perfumes strong enough to leave a trail through the entire house. Christmas didn't need to be curated back then, its scent arrived naturally. Number 1. The Avon Christmas Candle Glow.
When you want to say I like you, say it with a gift from Avon.
In the 70s, every home had at least one Avon candle burning, or sitting proudly in the middle of the coffee table as a decoration that never dared get lit. Scents like hollyberry, snowflake, and winter spice defined the holiday atmosphere. They gave off a warm, waxy aroma even when unlit, a little sweet, a little spicy, and unmistakably, Mom just bought this from the neighbor's Avon lady. The candles themselves were often shaped like elves, angels, Christmas trees, or little wax poinsettias that looked too pretty to actually burn. Whether the flame was flickering or the wick had never been touched, the Avon holiday candle scent became a permanent part of 1970s Christmas memories, subtle, cozy, and always present in the background. Number 2. Candy Dish Classics: Peppermint, Clove Gum, and Lifesavers Storybooks. No 1970s. Christmas morning was complete without the candy bowl. It was usually on a coffee table in a cut glass dish filled with Brack's peppermint nougats wrapped in festive green and white. Their sugary, minty smell hovered over the living room as kids reached for them before breakfast. Nearby, someone always had a pack of clove gum, that spicy, sharp, slightly medicinal scent that somehow smelled exactly like the holidays. And then there were the Lifesavers storybooks, which released a cloud of fruity menthol sweetness the second the cardboard flap was opened. Cherry, butter rum, wild berry, all mixing into one nostalgic candy fog that signaled Santa had officially come and gone. Number 3. Aunt Louise's Perfume, Taboo, Wind, and the Smell of Holiday Hugs.
Taboo by Dana. The scent that puts a spell everywhere it touches.
Put taboo on you.
It puts a spell on the two of you.
Every family had that one glamorous aunt who arrived wearing a perfume so strong it entered the house 5 seconds before she did.
I can't seem to forget you. Your wind song stays on my mind.
Windsong Perfume by Prince Machiavelli.
In the 1970s, the most powerful holiday fragrance wasn't pine. It was Taboo by Dana, or Wind. Song by Prince Machiavelli. Taboo lingered in the air like incense, with its heavy amber, clove, and orange oil notes filling the hallway every time she removed her faux fur coat. Wind Song was its softer, powdery cousin. Floral, nostalgic, and the signature scent of moms in velvet dresses and hair sprayed so firmly you could tap it like a helmet. Once someone hugged you, their perfume stayed on your sweater the rest of the day. In a way, it became part of the Christmas atmosphere and part of the memory. Number 4. Burnt light bulbs, bubble lights, and the electric train under the tree.
I'm Rip Van Twinkle. In my day, Christmas tree lights burned so hot you couldn't touch them. Then GE brought you cool lights, like lighted ice. Merry midgets. Cool brights.
There was a very specific warm Christmas smell that only 1970s decorations could create. The big C9 bulbs heated up after being plugged in for hours, giving off that faint scent of warm plastic and metal. Bubble lights added their own ingredient, a hot, fizzy smell coming from the little tubes of colored liquid. And underneath the tree, the electric train set added a touch of ozone, that buzzing warmth of its transformer working overtime as the train circled the track. Burnt-out bulbs gave off a tiny whiff of toasted dust, completing the oddly comforting aroma of a 70s living room lit entirely by technology older than you were. Number 5. Pine sap and real tree magic. Before artificial trees took over, the smell of a real Christmas tree was the centerpiece of the holiday. Fresh sap, resin, and pine needles filled the house with that crisp, wintry scent you simply can't recreate with a candle. When the heat kicked on, the branches warmed and released a deeper, woodier aroma. Needles dropped onto the shag carpet and clung to the vacuum. The water in the tree stand smelled faintly earthy. You could literally smell Christmas before you even opened your eyes. It was nature's way of saying, "It's here." All right, before you head off to chase down whatever smell just popped into your memory, do me one favor. Hit that subscribe button. If these videos bring back even half the warmth of a 70s Christmas morning, then I promise I've got plenty more where this came from. And if you're on Facebook, come join our little nostalgia neighborhood. It's basically a living room full of people sharing memories, swapping stories, and arguing, lovingly, about which aunt wore the strongest perfume. Number 6. Fresh plastic toys and vinyl dolls right out of the box.
From all over the neighborhood, Adventure Team members and equipment arrive at the opening of G.I. Joe headquarters. Flash, a radio message from the tower. Adventure Team member caught in quicksand. Get the maps. Here's the location. Get going, Joe, and good luck. Back in the tower, Joe signals, "Help on the way." We'll help get there in time. Create your own adventures.
Every toy in the 1970s came with its own scent, and opening a brand new one was part of the Christmas experience. Vinyl dolls had a warm, sweet, almost rubbery smell that lingered long after they were unboxed. Barbie and G.I. Joe had that factory fresh plastic aroma, especially when the sun hit them through the living room window. Board games smelled like ink and cardboard racetracks, and Mattel playsets had that unmistakable new toy smell that lasted for days. When kids dove into their presents, the scents of plastic, vinyl, and packaging paper all mingled together. The fragrance of pure childhood joy. Number 7. Coffee percolator aroma floating through the house.
Do you know what happens when you percolate coffee? A percolator reboils and recycles the coffee, which can make coffee bitter. And look at the sediment it leaves. I'd like to introduce a totally different way of making coffee. The Melita filter coffee maker.
The soundtrack of Christmas morning wasn't music. It was the glug 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 of the percolator on the kitchen counter. As soon as it started bubbling, the whole house filled with the deep, nutty aroma of fresh brewed coffee. It mixed with cold air from the hallway, cinnamon rolls from the oven, and the piney scent of the tree. Before parents even looked at the presents, they stood over the percolator, hands wrapped around a stoneware mug, soaking in the smell that said, "Okay, now Christmas can begin." Number 8. The metallic scent of tinsel, aluminum trees, and spray snow. The 1970s living room had a smell that was part holiday decor, part hardware store aisle. Tinsel, those thin metallic icicles, carried a faint tinny scent, especially when warmed by the old tree lights. Aluminum trees gleamed like spacecraft and had a cool, slightly dusty metal fragrance of their own. And let's not forget spray snow, that artificial chemical winter in a can scent that parents used on the windows until it crusted over like frosting. All of it mixed into one unforgettable aroma, the slightly artificial smell of Christmas trying its best to look glamorous. Number 9. Scotch tape, wrapping paper, ink, and the smell of Christmas chaos. Nothing smells like excitement more than a living room piled high with torn wrapping paper. Scotch tape gave off that faint chemical smell when pulled off the roll wrapping paper, especially the shiny metallic kind. Released its inky scent the moment it ripped. Cardboard boxes added their dusty note, mixing with plastic ties and styrofoam squeaks as kids tore into their gifts. It wasn't just a Christmas memories from the last video. These memories seriously make my day, and I'd love to feature even more of them in the next video. Drop your favorite smells, sounds, or little rituals from past Christmas mornings down below. Who knows? Your story might pop up on screen next time, filling the room with nostalgia for everyone watching. Number 10. Roasting turkey, canned cranberry jelly, and the smell of holiday dinner in the making. Even while presents were being opened, the kitchen was already in full swing. The turkey roasting in the oven filled the house with buttery, savory warmth. Stuffing added sage and onion. Rolls rose on the counter. And somewhere someone popped open a can of cranberry jelly, that metallic thwump, followed by its sweet tart aroma joining the mix. It was the scent of comfort, anticipation, and family. By noon, the whole house smelled like a celebration simmering. And there you have it. The top 10 scents that made a 1970s Christmas feel like nothing else on earth. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't curated, and it definitely didn't come from a boutique candle shop. It was real, it was warm, it was the smell of family, excitement, and pure holiday magic drifting through every room of the house. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Drop your favorite holiday scents or memories in the comments. The ones that instantly transport you back to those early mornings in PJ sets and tube socks. Your stories aren't just comments, they're time machines, and they make these videos even more special. Thanks for watching, thanks for remembering, and until next time, may your days be merry, bright, and just a little bit scented like the 1970s.